The transport ship shook as it entered the atmosphere of Theta 7. Lieutenant Daewon checked his rifle for the third time. He had done this mission before. Go in fast, complete the objective, get out, simple, clean, no questions asked. Beside him sat 3 other soldiers. Corporal Taemin was preparing explosives with steady hands. Private Hyunwoo cleaned his sniper scope one more time. Sergeant Bora studied the mission data on her tablet. They had worked together for 2 years. They trusted each other with their lives. 5 minutes to drop zone, the pilot announced through the speakers. Daewon stood up and addressed his team. Intelligence says this is a Valari military outpost. They are planning attacks on our colonies. We go in, we eliminate the threat, we leave. No survivors. Command wants this place erased. The others nodded. They had heard similar briefings many times. The Valari were the enemy. They had killed countless humans. This war had lasted for 15 years. Nobody remembered how it started anymore. They only knew that the other side wanted them dead. The ship touched down in a forest clearing. The 4 soldiers jumped out and moved quickly toward the target building. It was a large structure made of white metal. Strange plants grew around it, glowing softly in the darkness. The place looked peaceful. Too peaceful. Something feels wrong, Daewon whispered into his comm. The scan shows life signs inside, Bora replied. 20 contacts. Some small, some large. Taemin placed charges on the main door. Ready on your mark. Daewon gave the signal. The explosion tore through the entrance. The team rushed inside, weapons raised. But what they found made Daewon stop in his tracks. The room was filled with tables covered in plants. Strange flowers floated in glass containers. Screens showed data about soil and water. This was not a military base. This was a laboratory. A research station. Where are the weapons? Hyunwoo asked, confusion in his voice. Movement caught their attention. A tall Valari female stepped out from behind a workstation. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes large and dark. She wore a white coat, not armor. She raised her hand slowly. Please, she said in broken human language. We are scientists. Not soldiers, please. It is a trick, Taemin said, raising his weapon. They are all liars. More Valari appeared. Old ones, young ones. All wearing similar white coats. All unarmed. All terrified. Daewon had never seen Valari look scared before. In battle, they were fierce. But these people looked like researchers. Like civilians. Bora, check the computers, Daewon ordered. Find out what this place really is. While Bora worked, the Valari stood together in a group. The tall female who spoke first kept herself between the soldiers and the others. Protective. The way a leader protects their people. Lieutenant, this is a xenobotany station, Bora said, reading from a screen. They study plants. Look at this. They are researching a cure for the Crimson Plague. Daewon felt his blood run cold. The Crimson Plague killed humans and Valari alike. Thousands died every year. If these people were trying to cure it, they were helping both species. Intelligence was wrong, Daewon said quietly. Does not matter, Taemin replied. Orders are orders. No witnesses. These are not soldiers, Daewon argued. They are Valari. That makes them the enemy. A small sound came from behind one of the lab tables. A crying sound. Daewon moved closer, his weapon ready. What he saw made his heart stop. A child sat there hugging her knees. She could not have been more than 5 years old in human years. Her skin was lighter blue than the adults. Her eyes were huge with fear. In her small hands she held a glowing flower, squeezing it tight like a toy. The child looked up at Daewon. She did not run. She did not scream. She just stared at him with those big, scared eyes. Tears ran down her face. Lyra! The tall female scientist cried out. She tried to run to the child, but Hyunwoo blocked her path. Stay back, he warned. Daewon could not move. He stared at the little girl. She reminded him of his niece back on Earth. The same scared expression when thunder frightened her. The same way of holding something safe when the world felt dangerous. Daewon, step aside, Taemin said, moving forward. We finish this now. No, Daewon said softly. What did you say? I said no. Daewon stood between Taemin and the child. She is just a kid. She is Valari, Taemin repeated, anger rising in his voice. Move, Lieutenant. That is an order from command. You do not give me orders, Corporal. The female scientist broke free from Hyunwoo's grip and ran to her daughter. She pulled the child close, covering her with her body. Please, she begged. Please do not hurt my baby. Kill me if you must, but let her live. She is innocent. Daewon looked at the mother holding her child. He had seen this same scene before, but reversed. Human mothers protecting human children from Valari attacks. He had seen the bodies. He had buried families. The enemy had shown no mercy then. But could he become what he hated? Could he kill a child and call it justice? "Lieutenant, we have our orders," Bo-Ra said carefully. "Command will ask questions if we do not complete the mission." "Let them ask," Daewon replied. Tae-min raised his weapon, pointing it at the mother and child. "If you will not follow orders, I will." In one smooth motion, Daewon pointed his rifle at Tae-min. "Lower your weapon, Corporal." The room went silent. Hyunwoo and Bo-Ra stared in shock. A human soldier was threatening his own team to protect the enemy. This had never happened before. "You would betray humanity for them?" Tae-min asked, his voice full of disgust. "I am not betraying humanity," Daewon said firmly. "I am choosing to stay human." "There is a difference. You are making a mistake." "Maybe, but it is my mistake to make." Hyunwoo moved to the side, trying to get a clear shot at the Valari. Daewon saw it and shifted position. "Do not try it, Hyunwoo." "This is crazy," the sniper muttered. "Bo-Ra, what do you think?" Tae-min asked. The sergeant looked between Daewon and the Valari mother clutching her child. Her finger hovered over her weapon trigger. Long seconds passed. "I think," she finally said, "that something is very wrong with this mission. Intelligence told us this was a military base. They were wrong. Maybe they were wrong about other things too." "You cannot be serious," Tae-min growled. "I am recording everything," Bo-Ra continued. "Let Command see what we found here." "Let them decide." Command already decided. Dead Valari. All of them. The mother held her daughter tighter. The little girl buried her face in her mother's chest, still clutching that glowing flower. She was too young to understand the adult conversation, but she understood danger. Daewon made his decision. "Everyone out now, we are leaving. You cannot, that is an order," Daewon shouted. His voice echoed through the laboratory. "We are soldiers, not murderers. I will not kill children. I will not kill researchers trying to cure a plague. If that makes me a traitor, so be it." For a moment, nobody moved. Then alarms started blaring. The facility's automated defense system had finally registered the break-in. Doors began sealing. "Security protocols activated. We need to leave now," Bo-Ra urged. "This place is going into lockdown." In the chaos that followed, Daewon grabbed the Valari mother's arm. "Come with me if you want to live." She stared at him with disbelief and hope. "You will save us?" "I will try." The facility shook as more security measures activated. The other Valari researchers scattered, looking for emergency exits. Tae-min and Hyunwoo ran for the main door, cursing Daewon with every step. Daewon pulled the mother and child toward a side corridor. Behind them, he heard Bo-Ra following. The female scientist led them through tunnels she knew well. The little girl wrapped her arms around her mother's neck, her glowing flower crushed but still held tight. Outside, their transport ship lifted off without them. Tae-min and Hyunwoo were leaving them behind. Daewon's comm unit crackled with static, then a voice he recognized. "Command. Lieutenant Daewon, you are hereby declared a traitor to humanity. You are ordered to surrender immediately or be eliminated on sight." He pulled the comm unit from his ear and crushed it under his boot. The mother looked at him with new understanding. "You gave up everything." "For us." "For her," Daewon corrected, looking at the scared child. "For a kid who should not die because adults cannot stop making war." "My name is Nessa," the mother said. "My daughter is Lyra, Daewon," he replied. "Now let us get you both somewhere safe before my former friends come back to finish the job." The maintenance tunnels were dark and narrow. Nessa led the way with Lyra pressed against her chest. Bo-Ra followed close behind, her weapon ready. Daewon took the rear position, watching for pursuit. His heart pounded. He had just thrown away his entire life, his career, his honor, everything. But when he looked at that small child clutching her glowing flower, he knew he would make the same choice again. "Where does this tunnel lead?" he asked Nessa. "To the emergency transport bay," she replied, her voice shaking. "We have small ships there. For evacuations." "Good. We need to get off this planet before an explosion rocked the tunnel. Dust fell from the ceiling. Voices echoed from behind them. Human voices. Angry voices. They came back, Bo-Ra said grimly. "How many?" Daewon asked. She checked her scanner. 2 heat signatures. "Tae-min and Hyunwoo. They are hunting us. Why would they do this?" Nessa asked, confusion and fear mixing in her voice. You are their leader. Their friend. Was their friend, Daewon corrected. Now I am a traitor, and traitors must die. That is how the military works. They moved faster through the tunnels. Lyra started crying softly. The noise would give away their position. Nessa tried to comfort her daughter, whispering in the Valari language. Soft musical words that Daewon did not understand but recognized as a mother's love. Contact ahead, Bora warned. 3 Valari, armed. They rounded a corner and came face to face with Valari security guards. These were not scientists. They wore armor and carried weapons. For a frozen moment, everyone stared at each other, humans and Valari. Natural enemies meeting in a dark tunnel, Dr. Nessa, one of the guards said in his own language. Nessa spoke quickly, explaining something. The guards looked at Daewon and Bora with suspicion and hatred. One raised his weapon. Wait, Nessa shouted. These humans saved us. They protected Lyra. Humans do not protect Valari, the guard said, switching to human language. This is a trick. It is not a trick, Daewon replied calmly, though his finger stayed near his trigger. We mean you no harm. We just want to get her to safety. He nodded toward Lyra. Another explosion, much closer this time. Taman was using his demolition charges to blow through sealed doors. He was coming fast. You are being hunted by your own people, the guard observed. Why? Because I chose not to murder a child. The guards exchanged looks. Their weapons stayed raised. The lead guard studied Daewon's face, searching for lies. Time was running out. Let them pass, the guard finally decided. But you two go that way. He pointed down a different tunnel. We will handle the other humans. You do not have to fight them, Daewon said. They came to kill our researchers. Our families. Yes, we do. The guard's voice was steel. Go now, keep Dr. Nessa and the child safe. That is all that matters. Nessa grabbed Daewon's arm and pulled him down the tunnel she knew. Bora followed without hesitation. Behind them, they heard shouting. Then weapons fire. Humans and Valari killing each other like always. Nothing ever changed, except maybe today something did. They emerged into the transport bay. Several small ships sat waiting, their engines cold. Nessa ran to the nearest one and placed her palm on a scanner. The door hissed open. Get in, she urged. Bora climbed aboard first, checking the interior for threats. Daewon helped Nessa up, then handed her Lyra. The child had stopped crying, but her eyes were still wide with fear. She looked at Daewon and reached out one small hand toward him. Protect her, she said in human language. Her first word to him. She had been listening earlier. Something cracked in Daewon's chest. This tiny alien child trusted him. After everything, she trusted him. Yes, he said softly. I will protect you. He climbed aboard and sealed the door. Nessa moved to the pilot seat and began the startup sequence. Her hands flew over controls that looked nothing like human design. The ship hummed to life. Can you fly this through their defenses? Daewon asked. This ship has research clearance codes, Nessa explained. The automated system should let us pass. But if there are human ships outside, then we will have a problem. The bay doors opened above them. Stars appeared in the gap. The ship lifted smoothly. Nessa piloted with the skill of someone who had done this many times. They rose through the opening and into the night sky. Immediately, alarms screamed. A human destroyer hung in orbit above the planet. Its weapons were tracking their small ship. They are locking on, Bora said, reading the threat display. Incoming message. Do not answer it, Daewon ordered, too late. They are hailing us automatically. A voice filled the cockpit. Captain Young-Soo, the operation commander. Unidentified vessel, you are carrying fugitives wanted for treason. Return to the surface immediately or you will be destroyed. Nessa's hands tightened on the controls. What do we do? Run, Daewon said simply. We cannot outrun a destroyer. Then we outsmart it. He leaned over her shoulder, studying the controls. Do you have any weapons? This is a research ship. We have survey equipment, not guns. Bora moved to another console. But we have sensor jammers. And decoy drones. Give me a minute. Her fingers danced over the Valari interface. Despite being alien technology, she figured it out quickly. That was why she was the best intelligence specialist in the unit. She could adapt to anything. Deploying drones now, she announced. Small objects shot out from the ship. They scattered in different directions, each one emitting the same energy signature as their vessel. The destroyer's targeting system locked onto multiple contacts. It had to choose which one was real. Going evasive, Nessa said. She dove the ship toward the planet's atmosphere, then pulled up hard and shot toward the moon. The maneuver would have killed them if not for the inertial dampeners. Lyra started crying again. The ship's movements frightened her. Day-Wan moved to her side and knelt down. "Hey, little one. Look at me." She looked up with those huge eyes, tears streaming down her face. "We are going to be okay," he promised, though he had no idea if it was true. "Your mother is the best pilot in the galaxy, and I am the best protector. Together we cannot lose," Lyra sniffled. Her small hand reached out and grabbed his finger. She held on tight. The destroyer fired. Energy beams cut through space, destroying 3 of the decoy drones. One shot came close enough that their shields flared bright. "That was too close," Bora muttered. "Can we jump to hyperspace?" Day-Wan asked. "Not this close to the planet's gravity," Nessa replied. "We need another 10,000 kilometers. We will be debris in 5,000. Then I will have to be creative." Nessa spun the ship in a corkscrew pattern that human pilots never used. She dove toward a cluster of orbital platforms, using them as cover. The destroyer could not fire without hitting its own installations. They had seconds of breathing room. "Bora, send a message on the emergency channel," Day-Wan ordered. "Tell Command what we found at the base. Tell them it was researchers, not soldiers. They will not listen. Do it anyway. Let the truth be heard, even if they ignore it." While Bora sent the message, Nessa pushed the ship to its limits. They cleared the orbital platforms and accelerated hard. The distance counter climbed. 7,000 kilometers. 8,000. "They are firing again," Bora warned. Multiple energy beams lanced toward them. Nessa rolled the ship, but there were too many shots. One beam clipped their stern. Alarms screamed. "Hull breach in the cargo section." "Ceiling breach now," Nessa said, her voice tight with stress. 9,000 kilometers. "Almost there." Lyra buried her face against Day-Wan's chest. He wrapped one arm around her, keeping her safe while holding onto a support rail with the other hand. The ship shook violently. "Hyperspace in 5 seconds, Nessa announced. "They are firing everything," Bora said. 4 seconds. The destroyer unleashed every weapon. The space between them lit up like a supernova. 3 seconds, multiple hits. "Shields down," hull plates cracking. 2 seconds. "We are not going to make it," Bora shouted. 1 second. The universe stretched. Reality bent. Sound stopped. Then they were somewhere else. The stars changed. The destroyer was gone. They were safe for now. Nessa slumped over the controls, exhausted. Bora checked the damage reports. Day-Wan held Lyra, who had finally stopped crying and was now just shaking. "Where are we?" he asked. "Neutral space," Nessa replied. "Between territories. Neither human nor Valari control this region." "How bad is the damage?" "We can fly, but not far. We need repairs and supplies." Bora turned from her console. "Day-Wan, you need to see this." She showed him a screen. His face looked back at him from a wanted poster. "Lieutenant Day-Wan. Traitor to humanity. Wanted dead or alive. Reward, 1 million credits." There was a similar poster with Nessa's face. "Dr. Nessa. Valari were criminal. Wanted for crimes against humanity." "They are lying," Day-Wan said quietly. "Of course they are lying," Bora agreed. "But it does not matter. Everyone will be hunting us now. Bounty hunters, military, even civilians who want the reward." Nessa looked at her daughter, then at Day-Wan. "I am sorry. This is my fault. You saved us, and now you are a wanted man." "I made my choice," Day-Wan replied firmly. "I would make it again." "Why?" she asked. "Why would you give up everything for people you were trained to hate?" He looked down at Lyra, who had finally fallen asleep in his arms. Her small hand still gripped his finger. The crushed glowing flower lay on the floor beside them. "Because she is not my enemy," he said simply. "Oh. She is just a child who should have the chance to grow up. That is worth more than any medal or rank. If humanity cannot understand the asteroid colony called Drifthaven, looked like a piece of junk floating in space. Old ships and metal platforms connected by tubes and cables. Lights flickered in some sections. Others sat dark and abandoned. This was where people came when they had nowhere else to go. Their damaged research ship limped into the docking area. Nessa had barely kept them flying for the past 3 days. Lyra had asked for food they did not have. Water was running low. The air recycler made strange noises that worried everyone. "This place looks dangerous," Bora observed as she studied the scanner readings. "I count at least 40 different species here. And these power signatures suggest heavy weapons everywhere." "Good," Day1 replied. Dangerous places have rules that keep people from asking too many questions. We just need repairs and supplies. Then we leave. With what money? Nessa asked. My credits are linked to Valari accounts. The moment I try to use them, our location gets reported. I know people here, Day1 said quietly. From before the military. People who owe me favors. Bo-Ra raised an eyebrow. You have a past in places like this? Everyone has a past, Sergeant. Some pasts are just more useful than others. They docked the ship in a remote bay away from the main traffic. The air that greeted them smelled of oil, recycled oxygen, and too many bodies living in close quarters. Music thumped from somewhere deep in the station. Voices argued in a dozen different languages. Lyra held her mother's hand tightly. The child had been quiet since the escape. She flinched at every loud noise. Day1 noticed she kept looking at him, making sure he was still there. Checking that her protector had not left. Stay close, he told them. Do not look anyone in the eye. Act like you belong here. They moved through the crowded corridors. Vendors sold everything from stolen weapons to fake identification documents. A group of miners argued over a card game. Two aliens that Day1 did not recognize exchanged something in a dark corner. This way, he said, leading them deeper into the station. They stopped at a door marked with symbols in 3 languages. All of them basically said the same thing. Information and other services. Day1 knocked twice, waited, then knocked 3 more times. The door opened. A woman stood there, human, with scars on her face and a weapon on her hip. She looked at Day1 for a long moment. Then she smiled. I heard you were dead, she said. I heard the same about you, G1. Get in here before someone sees you. She pulled them inside quickly and sealed the door. Her office was small but well organized. Screens showed security feeds from around the station. A weapons locker sat in one corner. G1 studied their group. A Valari scientist, a child, and 2 human soldiers. I can guess which 2 are the wanted ones worth 1 million credits each. You could collect that bounty, Day1 said carefully. I could, she agreed. But I am guessing you came here because you know I would not. So what is the real story? Why is the famous Lieutenant Day1 running from his own people? Day1 told her everything. The mission, the discovery that it was a research station, the child, his choice, the escape. G1 listened without interrupting. When he finished, she looked at Lyra. How old is she? G1 asked Nessa. 5 years and you're counting, Nessa replied. I had a daughter once. Human, obviously. She was 6 when the war took her. G1's voice went flat, emotionless. A Valari raid on our colony. They killed everyone. No mercy for children. I joined the military after that. Wanted revenge. I am sorry, Nessa whispered. But you are not the ones who killed her, are you? G1 continued. You are just trying to cure a disease. And this little one. She knelt down to Lyra's level. She just wants to live. Same as my daughter wanted. Lyra looked at the scarred woman with uncertainty. G1 reached into her pocket and pulled out a small candy. She offered it to the child. Lyra looked at her mother, who nodded. The girl took the candy carefully. Thank you, Lyra said in human language. Her pronunciation was getting better. G1 stood up and Day1 saw tears in her eyes. She wiped them away quickly. You need ship repairs, forged documents, and a way out of this sector. That will cost money you do not have. I will find a way to pay you back, Day1 promised. Stop. I am not asking for payment. She moved to a console and started typing. Consider this my way of saving one child since I could not save my own. Your ship will be repaired by morning. I will have documents ready by then too. But you cannot stay on Drifthaven long. Word is spreading. Bounty hunters are already coming. Why are you helping us? Bo-Ra asked. Because maybe if enough people start choosing kids over credits, this stupid war might actually end someday. G1 pulled up a star map. There is a Valari peace group operating in the outer reach. They are scientists and civilians who want to stop fighting. They have protection from the Valari moderates. Dr. Nessa, they would welcome you. What about Day1 and Bo-Ra? Nessa asked. That is trickier. The peace group has humans who defected, but not many, and definitely none worth 2 million credits combined. G1 thought for a moment. You need leverage. Something big enough that killing you becomes more trouble than it is worth. The research data, Nessa said suddenly. I have all my work on the plague cure. Years of research. If we can prove the cure works, both sides will want it. That gives us value beyond a bounty. Can you prove it works? Day1 asked. Not without a proper laboratory and test subjects. But I can publish the preliminary data. Put it out there for everyone to see. Once it is public, killing me will not stop the research. Bora had been quiet, but now she spoke up. I recorded everything at the base. The civilians. The research. What Day1 did. I have been sending encrypted copies to journalists and independent news sites. Some are starting to pick up the story. Good, Jiwan said. Controversy helps. Makes you less likely to die quietly, but you still need to move carefully. I have contacts in the outer reach. I will send word ahead that you are coming. A proximity alarm beeped. Jiwan checked her screens. We have a problem. A military scout ship just docked. Human military. They are searching the station. How much time do we have? Day1 asked. Maybe an hour before they reach this sector. Take your people to Bay 7. I will have your ship moved there. Less traffic, easier to escape if needed. They moved quickly through the back corridors that Jiwan showed them. Lyra rode on her mother's back now, tired from walking. The child's eyes were closing. Even in danger, she needed sleep. Bay 7 was quieter than the main docks. Their ship sat there, already looking better. Repair drones worked on the damaged hull plates. Jiwan had not been lying about the repairs. Wait here, Day1 told the others. I will check the ship. He moved carefully around the vessel, looking for tampering or tracking devices. Everything seemed clean. Jiwan was thorough. He trusted her, but trust in places like this could get you killed. Footsteps echoed in the bay. Day1 spun around, weapon ready. A figure emerged from the shadows. Human, male, military uniform. Captain Youngsu, the destroyer commander who had tried to kill them. Easy, Lieutenant, Youngsu said, his hands visible and empty. I am not here to arrest you. Then why are you here? To talk, alone. Give me 5 minutes, then you can shoot me if you want. Day1 kept his weapon trained on the captain. Talk fast. I listened to the transmission Bora sent. I saw the evidence. You were right. The base was full of civilians. Intelligence lied to us. Youngsu's face showed pain. I have been part of this military for 20 years. I always believed we were the good guys, that we only killed soldiers. But now you know the truth, Day1 finished. We kill whoever command tells us to kill. Soldiers, scientists, children. Does not matter. I have a wife, Youngsu said quietly. Valari. We met during a prisoner exchange. She was a medic. I was injured. She saved my life. We fell in love. Kept it secret because the law says humans and Valari cannot be together. We have lived in hiding for 5 years. Day1 lowered his weapon slightly. Why are you telling me this? Because I understand what you did. Why you did it. And because I am part of a group. Humans and Valari working together. Trying to end this war from the inside. We are small. We are careful. But we exist. He pulled out a data chip. Coordinates. Safe houses. Contact codes. People who will help you. Why help me? Because what you did made news. The video Bora sent is spreading. People are seeing a human soldier choose mercy over orders. It is making them question things. You are becoming a symbol. The group wants to protect that symbol. Day1 took the data chip carefully.
If this is a trap, then I just gave up the biggest secret of my life for nothing, Youngsu interrupted.
My wife's location is on that chip too. That is my insurance. You die, she dies. We both have something to lose now. Alarms blared throughout the station. They found you, Youngsu said. My soldiers. I led them away from this bay, but they will figure it out soon. You need to leave now. Come with us, Day1 offered. I can do more good from inside the military. Feeding information. Protecting defectors. Youngsu stepped back toward the shadows. Keep that child safe, Lieutenant. Make sure my choices meant something. He disappeared into the darkness. Day1 stood there for a moment, processing what just happened. The enemy capped the outer reach looked different from the military zones. Here, ships of many species moved freely without weapons locked. Space stations advertised trade and research instead of defense. It felt almost peaceful, almost normal. Their ship approached a station called Haven Point. The Valari Peace Group operated from here with protection from moderate politicians on both sides. Nessa had made contact with them during the journey. They were expecting her. Docking permission granted, the station controller said. Welcome to Haven Point, Dr. Nessa. We have heard much about you. They docked without incident. The station's interior surprised Day1. Humans and Valari walked side by side, not fighting, not hating, just living. A Valari child played with a human child in a common area. Their parents watched together, talking like old friends. Is this real? Bora whispered. Are they actually getting along? Some people never wanted the war, Nessa explained. They came here to escape it, to build something different. A Valari male approached them. He was old, his skin faded to light gray, but his eyes were sharp and intelligent. Dr. Nessa, I am Elder Cato. We have been following your research for years. Your work on the plague cure could save millions. This is Lieutenant Day1 and Sergeant Bora, Nessa introduced them. They saved my daughter's life. Saved my life. Cato studied the two humans carefully. Yes, we have seen the videos. The human soldier who chose mercy. It has caused quite a stir in both governments. Some call you a hero. Others call you a traitor. Interesting how the same action can be viewed so differently. I just did what was right, Day1 said uncomfortably, and that makes you rare. Come, we have much to discuss. Your daughter must be tired, Dr. Nessa. We have quarters prepared. She can rest while we talk. Lyra had been holding her mother's hand, but now she reached for Day1 too. She wanted both of them close. Nessa noticed and smiled sadly. Her daughter had bonded with this human soldier, this stranger who had become family. They were led to a conference room overlooking the station's central park. Real plants grew there under artificial sunlight. More children played. More families enjoyed peace. It was like looking at a dream. How is this possible? Bora asked.
How do humans and Valari live together here without killing each other?
Because we choose to, Cato replied simply. Every day we make that choice. Sometimes it is hard. We remember losses. We remember pain. But we also remember that the other side feels the same pain, that they also lost loved ones. Hate is a choice. Peace is a choice. We choose peace. The war has lasted 15 years, Day1 said. Why? How did it even start? Cato's expression darkened. An excellent question. One we have been researching. Dr. Nessa, you brought your data files from the research station? Everything, she confirmed. My entire research database. Good, because we found something interesting. Cato activated a large screen. 3 months ago, one of our people intercepted a coded transmission. It took us weeks to decrypt it. What we found was disturbing. The screen showed financial records, huge amounts of money moving between corporations, human corporations and Valari corporations, all involved in weapons manufacturing. The war makes certain people very wealthy, Cato explained, on both sides. They sell weapons, ships, defense systems. As long as the war continues, the money flows. Every war has profiteers, Bora said. That is not new. True, but look at this. Cato changed the screen. 15 years ago, before the war started, these same corporations were losing money. The galaxy was at peace. Nobody needed weapons. They were facing bankruptcy. He pulled up another document. Then an incident occurred. A human colony ship was destroyed near Valari space. All 500 colonists died. The evidence pointed to a Valari attack. Humanity demanded justice. The Valari denied involvement. War began. What are you saying? Day1 asked, though he was starting to understand. 2 months ago, we found the real evidence. Sealed. Hidden in old archives. Cato showed them technical data. The colony ship was destroyed by a human missile. Not a Valari weapon. The evidence was faked. The war was started deliberately by people who would profit from it. The room went silent. Nessa covered her mouth with her hand. Bora stared at the screen like she could not believe what she was seeing. Day1 felt sick. 15 years, he said quietly. Millions dead. All for profit? Not just profit, Cato corrected. Control. Fear keeps populations obedient. War gives governments power. As long as humans fear Valari and Valari fear humans, the leaders stay in power. The weapons makers stay rich. Everyone benefits except the soldiers dying and the civilians suffering. We have to expose this, Bora said immediately. Tell everyone the truth. We have tried, Cato admitted. But who will believe us? We are the peace movement. People think we are idealistic fools. The governments control the media. Any evidence we present gets labeled as fake, as propaganda. What about Dr. Nessa's research? Day1 asked. The plague cure. If we can prove it works, both sides will want it. That gives us leverage. Exactly our thinking, Cato agreed. A working cure requires cooperation between human and Valari scientists. It proves that peace is not only possible but necessary. It makes the war look foolish. Nessa pulled up her research files. I need a full laboratory. Test subjects, time. I am close to a breakthrough, but not there yet. We have a laboratory here, Cato said, and volunteers willing to be test subjects. The plague kills both species. Many here have lost family to it. They will help. How long will it take? Daewon asked. Weeks, maybe months, Nessa admitted. Science cannot be rushed. We might not have months, Bora pointed out. The bounty on our heads is attracting every hunter in the galaxy. As if summoned by her words, alarms blared throughout the station. Cato's communicator crackled. Elder, we have incoming ships. Military vessels. Both human and Valari fleets. They are demanding we hand over the fugitives. How did they find us? Daewon demanded. Someone must have talked, Cato said grimly. This station has thousands of residents. Not all of them believe in our mission. Some need money more than peace. They rushed to the control center. The screens showed a frightening sight. 12 human warships on one side, 10 Valari warships on the other. Haven Point sat between them, small and defenseless. This is Captain Young-Soo of the human fleet, a voice transmitted. Haven Point, you are harboring enemies of humanity. Surrender them immediately. Another transmission followed in the Valari language. NASA translated. The Valari commander says the same thing. They want us handed over. We do not surrender our people, Cato responded calmly on both channels. This is neutral territory. You have no authority here. You have 1 hour to comply, Young-Soo replied. After that, we will take them by force. The Valari commander agreed. 1 hour. Then both fleets would attack the station. They will kill everyone here because of us, Nessa said, her voice breaking. We should surrender. Save these people? No, Daewon said firmly. That is what they want. We surrender, we die, the truth dies with us. The war continues forever. Then what do we do? Daewon thought quickly. Captain Young-Soo helped us before. He is part of the resistance. Maybe he can help again. Or maybe he is here to capture you, Bora countered. We cannot trust him. We cannot trust anyone, Daewon agreed. But we have no choice. Kato, can you transmit on a secure channel just to the human flagship? Yes, but they will trace it. Do it anyway. Cato set up the connection. Daewon took a breath and started speaking. Captain Young-Soo, this is Lieutenant Daewon. I know you are listening. I have evidence. Proof that the war was started by weapons manufacturers. Proof that both our governments have been lying for 15 years. I can send it to you right now. But if you attack this station, millions will die. Help me stop this madness, please. Long seconds of silence. Then Young-Soo's face appeared on a private screen. He looked tired, conflicted. You are putting me in an impossible position, Lieutenant. I am giving you a choice, Daewon corrected. The same choice you gave me when you handed me those coordinates. Be part of the problem or part of the solution. If I help you, I commit treason. My career ends. Maybe my life too. Your career is built on lies. Your orders come from people who profit from death. Is that really worth protecting? Young-Soo closed his eyes. When he opened them again, they held determination. Send me everything. All your evidence. I will review it. If it is real, I will. I will do what is right. Cato transmitted all the data. Financial records. Technical analysis of the colony ship destruction. Everything they had found. Young-Soo's officers worked quickly, verifying the information. Meanwhile, the hour was running out. 40 minutes left, 30, 20. This is real, Young-Soo finally said. All of it. They lied to us. About everything. What are you going to do? Daewon asked. Something crazy. Young-Soo switched to the fleet-wide channel. All human ships, this is Captain Young-Soo. Stand down. Do not fire on Haven Point. I am transmitting data to all of you. Review it. Then decide if you want to keep following orders from people who started this war for profit. Chaos erupted in the human fleet. Captains demanded explanations. Some called Young-Soo a traitor. Others started reading the evidence. The Valari commander saw the human fleet's confusion. What is happening? Why are they not attacking? Cato transmitted the same evidence to the meeting room on Haven Point was crowded. Captain Young-Soo sat on one side with 3 other human captains. Opposite them sat 2 Valari commanders. In the middle, Elder Cato presided over the gathering. Daewon, Nessa, and Bora stood to the side, witnesses to history being made. "This is unprecedented," one of the Valari commanders said. She was young for her rank, her skin still dark blue. Humans and Valari sitting together, talking instead of shooting. "My crew thinks I have lost my mind." "Mine too," admitted a human captain named Commander Jae-sung. "But I read the evidence. I checked it myself. The colony ship that started this war was destroyed by a human weapon. Our own government killed 500 of our people to justify a war. The Valari government did the same," the young Valari commander added. They knew the truth but stayed silent. They wanted the war too. For power. For control. "So what do we do now?" another human captain asked. "We cannot just go home and pretend we did not learn this." "No, we cannot," Young Su agreed. "But if we act rashly, we will be arrested as traitors. Or worse, we need a plan." Elder Cato stood up. "The peace movement has been preparing for this moment for years. We have contacts in both governments. Journalists who will publish the truth. Politicians who secretly oppose the war. We just needed proof. You captains just gave us that proof by coming here." "How does our presence help?" Jae-sung asked. "Because you are not radicals or pacifists. You are military officers, decorated heroes. When you say the war is based on lies, people will listen. Your testimony carries weight." Nessa stepped forward. "And I can offer something else. My plague cure research. I am close to a breakthrough. If I can prove that human and Valari scientists working together can save lives, it shows cooperation is possible. It shows peace is practical, not just idealistic." "How long until you have this cure?" the young Valari commander asked. "Weeks. Maybe less if I have help." "You will have help," Cato promised. "Our best scientists will assist you. Human and Valari working side by side." The meeting continued for hours. They made plans, strategies. The captains would return to their fleets and quietly spread the evidence. Find other officers who questioned the war. Build a network of truth-tellers. But then the alarms blared again. Multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace, the station controller announced. Military vessels. Lots of them. Everyone rushed to the command center. The screen showed a terrifying sight. 30 human warships and 25 Valari warships had arrived. These were not questioning captains. These were hardliners sent to crush the rebellion. "This is Admiral Hansol of the Human Defense Fleet," a cold voice transmitted. "To all ships at Haven Point, you are ordered to disperse immediately. Any ship that does not comply will be considered hostile." A Valari admiral followed with a similar message. "They are going to attack," Bo-Ra said. "Both sides. Together. Enemies working together to stop peace," Day One observed bitterly. "That tells you everything about this war." Young Su looked at the overwhelming force. "We cannot fight them. 5 ships against 55. It would be suicide." "Then we do not fight," Elder Cato said calmly. "We do something they do not expect. We invite them to talk. They will not talk. They came to kill. Then let them be the ones who refuse peace while the whole galaxy watches." Cato opened all communication channels. "This is Haven Point to all military vessels. We invite you to send representatives for diplomatic discussion. We have evidence that both our governments need to see. We request 1 hour of dialogue before any violence begins." Silence. Then Admiral Hansol laughed. "You think we came here to talk? We came to eliminate traitors and their sympathizers. You have 5 minutes to surrender Lieutenant Day One, Dr. Nessa, and anyone else involved in this conspiracy. After that, we open fire." The Valari Admiral agreed. 5 minutes. "At least we tried," Cato said softly. "We need to evacuate the civilians," Nessa said urgently. "Get them off the station." "There is not enough time," Cato replied. "We have 5,000 people here. Many are children," Day One felt sick. 5,000 innocent people about to die because of choices he made. Because he saved 1 child, 5,000 more would die. The math was brutal. "I will surrender," he said quietly. "If it saves them, no," Lyra cried out. The little girl had been sitting quietly with other children, but now she ran to Day One. She grabbed his leg and held tight. "You cannot go. You are my protector. You promised." Nessa knelt beside her daughter. "Little one, sometimes grown-ups have to make hard choices." "No. He is family now. Family does not leave." Lyra was crying, her small voice breaking. "Please, Papa Day One. Please do not go." The word hit Day One like a physical blow. Papa. She had called him Papa. This tiny alien child considered him her father. When had that happened? When had she stopped being the enemy's child and become his daughter? He picked her up, holding her close. She buried her face in his shoulder, sobbing. "I'm sorry," he whispered, "but I have to protect you, even if it means going away." "We all surrender together," Nessa said firmly. "They want me too. And Bo-Ra, if we are going to die, we die as a family." "Nobody is dying today," Young-Soo said with sudden determination. "Captains, prepare your ships. We are going to buy time for Haven Point to evacuate." "With 5 ships?" Jae-sung said. "We will be destroyed in minutes. Then we make those minutes count." Young-Soo looked at Dae-won. "You showed me what courage looks like, Lieutenant. Time for me to return the favor. Get these people to safety. That is an order." Before anyone could argue, the 5 Allied ships moved between Haven Point and the enemy fleets. They spread out in a defensive formation, shields at maximum. "This is Captain Young-Soo to all attacking forces. If you want Haven Point, you go through us first." "You are committing suicide," Admiral Han-Sol said. "Maybe, but we are also buying time for the truth to spread. Your crews are watching this. They see you ordering them to kill fellow soldiers who only want peace. How many will follow those orders? How many will question them?" "Fire on the traitors," Han-Sol commanded, but the response was slow. Hesitant, some ships fired immediately. Others held back. Captains questioned their orders. Crews debated. The evidence that Young-Soo had transmitted earlier was spreading through the fleets. Doubt was spreading faster than weapon fire. On Haven Point, the evacuation began. Thousands of civilians rushed to escape pods and small ships. Parents carried children. Elderly helped each other. Humans and Valari worked together, proving that cooperation was possible even in crisis. Dae-won helped direct traffic, getting people to safety. Nessa worked at her side. Bo-Ra coordinated with station security. Lyra stayed glued to Dae-won, refusing to let go of his hand. Outside, the 5 defending ships took heavy damage. Young-Soo's flagship lost shields. Another ship exploded, all hands lost. But they kept fighting, kept buying time. 2 more minutes, Bo-Ra called out. "That is all we need. 2 more minutes and everyone will be clear." Then disaster struck. A missile got through the defensive line. It hit Haven Point directly, tearing through the eastern docking bay. Explosions ripped through corridors. People screamed. "Section E is breached." Someone shouted. "We have wounded. Lots of wounded." Dae-won ran toward the damage without thinking. Nessa followed. They found a dozen people trapped by debris. Some human, some Valari. Blood everywhere. A human woman held a Valari child, protecting it with her body. A Valari man tried to help a wounded human soldier. "Get them out," Dae-won ordered. They worked together, humans and Valari side by side, lifting rubble, carrying wounded. No one cared about species. They only cared about saving lives. A secondary explosion rocked the section. The ceiling started to collapse. Dae-won saw it coming. He saw Lyra standing in the wrong place. He ran and dove, covering her with his body just as metal and concrete rained down. Pain. Incredible pain. Something heavy crushed his back. He could not breathe, could not move. But beneath him, Lyra was safe, protected. "Dae-won!" Nessa screamed. People pulled the debris off him. Hands lifted him carefully. Everything hurt. He could taste blood, the child, he gasped. She is fine. You saved her." Nessa's face appeared above him, tears streaming. "But you are hurt. Badly hurt? Get her off the station," Dae-won whispered. His vision was getting dark. "Promise me. Get her somewhere safe, I promise. But you are coming with us." Nessa looked at the medics. "Help him!" Human and Valari doctors worked on him together. They stabilized his injuries enough to move him, rushed him to a medical ship that was already overloaded with wounded. Outside, Young-Soo's voice crackled over the comm one last time. "Haven Point, you are clear. Evacuate. We will hold them as long as we can." "Captain, your ship is breaking apart," someone replied. "You need to abandon ship." "Negative. If I leave, they will chase the evacuation ships. I stay here. I make them focus on me." Young-Soo's voice was calm, accepting. "Tell my wife I love her. Tell her our secret was worth it." His ship exploded in a brilliant flash. The captain who had helped them was gone, but his sacrifice worked. The evacuation ships scattered in different directions. The attacking fleets could not chase them all. Most escaped into hyperspace. Haven Point Station was lost, destroyed by the fleets it had tried to unite, but the people survived. Thousands of lives saved. Day 1 woke up in a medical bay. His body was raw. The family bonding ceremony was simple but powerful. Nessa drew ancient symbols on Day 1's forehead with bioluminescent ink. She spoke words in the Valari language that he did not understand but felt in his heart. Lyra placed her small hand over his heart. He placed his hand over hers. "You are bound now," Elder Cato said, witnessing the ceremony. "In Valari tradition, this bond cannot be broken. You are father to this child, brother to this mother, family in all ways that matter." Other refugees gathered to watch, humans and Valari together, witnesses to something impossible becoming real. When the ceremony ended, many had tears in their eyes, but ceremonies did not stop governments. 3 weeks after the Haven Point disaster, both sides intensified their hunt for the fugitives. The bounty increased to 5 million credits. Wanted posters appeared on every station and colony. Yet something strange was happening. Public opinion was shifting. Bora had continued her work, leaking videos and evidence. The footage of Daiwan protecting Lyra went viral across human worlds. People saw a soldier choose mercy over orders. They saw a child's innocent face. They saw humanity's better nature. On Valari worlds, the story spread differently. A human had died protecting a Valari child. The mother had bonded with him as family. It challenged everything Valari citizens believed about humans being monsters. "Look at this," Bora said, showing them her tablet. Protests on 15 human colonies. People demanding the government explain why the war started. Demanding to see the evidence we published. Same on the Valari side, Elder Cato added. Their citizens are asking questions. Moderate politicians are gaining power. The warmongers are losing control of the narrative. But they still want us dead, Day 1 pointed out. He was recovering slowly but still weak. Moving hurt. Breathing hurt. But he was alive. They do, Cato agreed. Which is why we need to move quickly. Dr. Nessa, how is the cure research progressing? Nessa looked exhausted. She had been working day and night in the refugee camp's makeshift laboratory. I am close. Very close. The synthetic compounds are responding well in tests. But I need live trials. Actual plague victims to verify it works. We have volunteers, Cato said. 20 humans and 18 Valari suffering from the plague, all willing to try an experimental cure. If it fails, they die, Nessa warned. They are dying anyway. This gives them hope. The next week, Nessa began the trials. Daewon watched her work, amazed by her dedication. She treated each patient with care, monitoring their progress constantly. Human doctors and Valari doctors worked alongside her, learning from each other. Lyra helped in small ways. She brought water to patients, drew pictures to cheer them up. Her innocence reminded everyone what they were fighting for. On day 5, the first patient showed improvement. A human woman who had been barely breathing suddenly sat up and asked for food. Real food, not the nutrient drinks that sustained her. It is working, Nessa breathed, checking the woman's vital signs. The cure is working. By day 10, all 38 test subjects showed dramatic improvement. The plague that had killed millions was retreating. Human and Valari bodies responded the same way to the treatment. Science did not care about politics. We need to publish this immediately, Bora urged. Show both sides that cooperation saves lives. Agreed, Cato said. I will contact our journalists. Get this information everywhere. Let people see what peace can accomplish. The news spread like wildfire. A cure for the Crimson Plague developed by a Valari scientist with human assistance. Lives saved through cooperation. It was impossible to ignore. Governments tried to suppress the information, claimed it was propaganda, said the cure was fake. But doctors on both sides verified the results independently. The cure was real. Moderate politicians seized the opportunity. On human worlds, a senator named Go Yun stood before Parliament and demanded answers. Why are we hunting the people who cured the plague? Why are we calling them terrorists when they just saved thousands of lives? On Valari worlds, a similar movement grew. Council members questioned the war, demanded investigations. The people were listening. The people were angry. Something is happening, Bora reported, monitoring news feeds. The hardline governments are losing support rapidly. Elections are being called early on both sides. Peace candidates are winning, but the old guard did not surrender power easily. A message arrived at the refugee camp, addressed directly to Daewon. It was from his former squadmate Corporal Taemin, Lieutenant.
I know you are reading this.
I want you to know that I understand now. I saw the videos. I read the evidence. You were right. We were lied to. We were made into murderers for profit. There was a long pause in the recording. I am testifying at a military tribunal, telling them everything. The war crimes we committed, the civilians we killed, all of it. Other soldiers are doing the same. We are tearing down the system from inside. Daewon closed his eyes. Taemin, who had wanted to kill Lyra, was now seeking redemption. Another message came, this time from Private Hyunwoo. I am sorry, Lieutenant, for everything. You showed me that following orders is not the same as doing right. I have been helping Bora spread the truth, sending evidence to journalists. My career is over, but I can sleep at night now. They are waking up, Nessa observed. Your people. They are seeing clearly for the first time. Some of them, Daewon corrected. Others will fight change until the end. He was right. 3 days later, extremists attacked a peace rally on a human colony. 12 people died. 30 more were injured. The attackers claimed they were defending humanity from traitors. Similar violence erupted on Valari worlds. Extremists bombed a mixed-species school. Children died. The images were horrific. This is what happens when you challenge power, Elder Kato said sadly. The old ways die hard. They die violently. But for every act of violence, there were 10 acts of compassion. Human civilians protected Valari refugees. Valari communities hid human defectors. People on both sides were choosing peace despite the risk. The elections arrived. On human worlds, peace candidates won by surprising margins. The old warmonger senators were voted out. New leaders took power, promising investigations and accountability. Valari elections followed a month later. The results were similar. Moderates who wanted peace defeated hardliners who wanted endless war. We have a chance, Kato said, watching the election results. A real chance to end this. The new governments acted quickly. They announced a joint investigation into the war's origins. They acknowledged the evidence about the manufactured incident. They arrested the weapons manufacturers who had profited, and they issued a stunning proclamation, a provisional ceasefire. All military operations suspended pending peace negotiations. 15 years of war, paused with a single announcement. They want us at the negotiations, Bora said, reading an official message. You, Nessa, and Lyra, as representatives of what peace looks like. We are not politicians, Daewon protested. We are just people trying to survive. Exactly, Kato replied. You are not politicians. You are proof that peace is possible, that humans and Valari can be family. Your presence at those negotiations will say more than any speech. Nessa looked at Daewon. What do you think? He looked at Lyra, playing with other children nearby. Human and Valari kids together, sharing toys and laughter. This was what the future could be. I think we owe it to everyone who died, he said slowly. Everyone who suffered. We have to try. The peace summit was held on a neutral space station. Delegations from both governments arrived with pomp and ceremony. Cameras recorded everything. The galaxy was watching. Daewon, Nessa, and Lyra entered the main hall together. They wore simple clothes, not uniforms or formal attire. Just a family walking together. The sight stopped conversations. Cameras focused on them. A human soldier holding hands with a Valari child. The mother walking beside them, her hand on the soldier's shoulder. 3 people who should have been enemies standing as family. That is them, someone whispered. The ones who started all this. The human delegation leader, Senator Go-Yun, approached them. Lieutenant Daewon, Dr. Nessa, it is an honor to meet you. What you did, what you sacrificed, gave us the courage to seek peace. The Valari delegation leader, Council Member Wu Jin, joined them. Your family is proof that our species are not so different, that we can find common ground. We did nothing special, Nessa said quietly. We just chose love over hate. Anyone could do the same. But you did it first, Go-Un replied. That made all the difference. The summit lasted 3 weeks. Delegations argued over terms, borders, reparations, war crimes, tribunals. It was messy and frustrating. Several times negotiations almost collapsed, but whenever tensions rose too high, someone would point to Daewon, Nessa, and Lyra. The family that should not exist, but did. The living proof that peace was possible. It became impossible to argue for war while looking at them. Finally, an agreement was reached. A formal peace treaty, joint governance zones where humans and Valari would live together, scientific cooperation programs, cultural exchanges, War crimes tribunals for those who started and prolonged the conflict. The treaty was signed in that same hall. Leaders from both sides put their names on the document. Cameras flashed. History was made. But the most powerful moment came after the signing. Senator Go-Yoon invited Daiwan to say something. The colony world of New Hope was appropriately named. It was one of the first joint settlements where humans and Valari lived together by choice. The architecture mixed both styles. Gardens grew plants from two worlds. Schools taught both languages. This was where the future was being built, one small step at a time. Daewon stood on his porch watching the sunset. Two suns in this system, one yellow and one orange. They painted the sky in colors that neither humans nor Valari had seen on their homeworlds. Something new. Something beautiful. "Papa, come inside," Lyra called from the house. "Dinner is ready," he smiled. She was 8 years old now and human counting. 3 years since the treaty was signed. Her human language was perfect. She attended the mixed school where she had both human and Valari friends. Sometimes Daewon forgot she was not human. She was just his daughter, his family. Inside, Nessa was setting the table. She still worked on medical research, but no longer in hiding. She ran the Institute for Cooperative Science, where the best minds from both species worked together. Her plague cure had saved over 2 million lives so far. "You are thinking too hard again," she said, noticing his expression. "What troubles you?" "Nothing troubles me. I am just remembering how we got here, how impossible all this seemed." "It still seems impossible sometimes," she admitted. "But here we are anyway." They ate dinner as a family. Simple food, some human dishes, and some Valari. Lyra talked excitedly about her school project. She was writing a paper about the peace movement, interviewing people who had lived through the transition. "Teacher says I should interview you," Lyra said, looking at Daewon. "But I told her I already know all your stories." "Do you?" he asked, amused. "Of course. You are my hero. I know everything." After dinner, there was a knock at the door. Bora stood there, no longer in a military uniform. She wore civilian clothes and looked happier than Daewon had ever seen her. "Sorry to interrupt family time," she said. "But I wanted to show you this." She held up a tablet showing a news report. The last war crimes tribunal finished today. All the weapons manufacturers who started the war have been convicted. They will spend the rest of their lives in prison. "Good," Daewon said simply. Justice had been slow, but it had come. "And there is something else." Bora's smile widened. "The refugee resettlement program Jiwon and I started has helped over 50,000 people find new homes. Mixed communities. Humans and Valari choosing to live together." "Jiwon would be proud," Nessa said. They observed a moment of silence. Jiwon had died 2 years ago, not from violence, but from old age. She had lived long enough to see peace take hold. Her last words were about her daughter, hoping that somewhere her child's death had meaning. It did. "Oh, and Captain Young-soo sends his regards," Bora added. "Well, former captain. He runs the Intelligence Oversight Committee now, making sure our governments never lie to us again." "How is his family?" Daewon asked. "Good. His wife is a doctor here on New Hope. They have a son, half human, half Valari. Just turned 5. Reminds me of someone." She winked at Lyra. The next day, Daewon had an important meeting. The Joint Military Academy had asked him to teach a course on ethics and conflict resolution. Soldiers from both species learning together how to prevent wars instead of fight them. He stood in front of the classroom, looking at the young faces. Human and Valari cadets sitting side by side. 3 years ago, they would have been shooting at each other. Today, they were classmates. "Who can tell me why the war lasted 15 years?" he asked. A human cadet raised her hand. "Because we believed the lies we were told. We did not question our orders." "Correct. And what should you do when given an order that feels wrong?" A Valari cadet answered. "Question it, investigate, make our own moral choice." Also correct. Daewon walked between the rows. "I am not here to teach you how to follow orders. Command can do that. I am here to teach you when not to follow them, when to choose conscience over obedience." He told them his story. The research station. The child. The choice he made. The cadets listened with complete attention. This was not abstract theory. This was real history. Their history. "Some will call what I did heroic," he concluded. "Others still call it treason. I call it necessary, because if we do not think for ourselves, we become tools. And tools can be used to build or destroy. The choice is ours. A human cadet raised his hand. Sir, what if we are wrong? What if we question orders and make the wrong choice? Then you live with that choice, Day One replied honestly. You bear that weight. But I would rather live with mistakes I made while trying to do right than live with the nightmares of following evil orders. Trust me, I have those nightmares. I followed orders I should not have before I learned to think for myself. After class, several cadets approached him with questions. They wanted to understand. They wanted to be better than the generation that fought the war. That gave him hope. That evening, there was a ceremony at the Museum of Peace. Day One had been invited but tried to decline. He did not like being celebrated, but Nessa insisted they attend. The museum was beautiful, a blend of human and Valari architecture. Inside were exhibits about the war, the peace movement, and the future being built. Children on field trips learned about their shared history. And now for our special moment, the museum director announced. We are unveiling a new exhibit dedicated to the family that changed everything. Day One's heart sank. He had a bad feeling about this. A curtain dropped, revealing a life-sized hologram. It showed him, Nessa, and Lyra on the day of the Haven Point evacuation. The moment captured was him covering Lyra with his body as debris fell, protecting her at the cost of his own safety. This image has become the symbol of our peace, the director explained. A human choosing to die for a Valari child. It represents the best of what we can be when we choose love over hate. The crowd applauded. Day One felt uncomfortable with the attention. But Lyra squeezed his hand and smiled up at him. You are embarrassed, Papa. But you should be proud. You saved so many people by saving me. I just saved you, he corrected. Everyone else saved themselves. No, Elder Cato said, appearing beside them. She is right. Your choice inspired others to make their own choices. That is how change happens. One person does something brave, and it gives others permission to be brave too. Where is this going? Day One asked, suspicious of Cato's meaningful tone. Both governments want to honor you officially, Cato explained. Awards, medals, recognition of your service to peace. I already refused those awards once. I know. That is why they are asking me to convince you. The honors are not for you. They are for everyone watching. They are a message that choosing peace is worth celebrating. That moral courage matters. Day One looked at Nessa. She shrugged. It is your choice as always. But think about what it means to those cadets you teach. Those young people learning from your example. He sighed. Fine, I will accept the awards. But no speeches. I said everything I needed to say at the Peace Summit. Actually, Bora interjected, joining the conversation. There is one more speech you should make. What? The anniversary memorial. 3 years since the treaty. Both governments are holding a joint ceremony to remember those who died in the war. All sides, soldiers and civilians, human and Valari. They want someone to speak who understands both perspectives. I am not a speaker. You are the only one who can do this, Nessa said gently. You fought in the war. You lost friends. But you also chose peace and built a family across species lines. You understand all sides. He wanted to refuse. But looking around the museum, seeing families of both species learning together, seeing children who would never know war, he realized he had a responsibility. He had started something. He needed to help finish it. The memorial ceremony was held at the site where Haven Point Station once orbited. A monument floated in space now, listing the names of everyone who died in the war. Millions of names. Human and Valari side by side, their deaths finally meaning something. Ships from both species gathered for the ceremony. No weapons charged. No shields raised. Just people remembering. Day One stood before the cameras again. Nessa and Lyra stood with him as always. His family. His strength. We gather here to remember the fallen, he began, his voice steady despite his nerves. Soldiers who followed orders. Civilians caught in crossfire. Children who never had a chance to grow up. We remember them all. He paused, collecting his thoughts. I fought in this war. I killed people who were called my enemies. I believed I was protecting humanity, but I was really protecting the profits of those who started this conflict. I was their tool, and I did not know it. Then I met a child who was supposed to be my enemy, and I could not kill her. That moment of clarity, of seeing the person instead of the enemy, that changed everything for me. It started a chain reaction that led to peace. He looked directly at the cameras. We cannot bring back the dead. We cannot undo the pain, but we can choose to honor their memory by building something better. by making sure our children never fight the wars their parents could not stop. I stand here with my family, a Valari scientist, a child of two worlds. We should not exist according to the old way of thinking. But here we are, living proof that peace is possible, that family transcends species, that love is stronger than hate.